in a clear, and at least to me, overwhelmingly persuasive way. I want to thank Congresswoman Susan Davis for her service and her support of Hillary. Thank you very much. I had the honor to campaign for Susan Davis when she was elected in 2000. There were only 3 Democrats who beat incumbent Republicans in America. She was one of them, and your confidence is well placed. You've done a great job. You know, when he comes from a very large family, and he has said publicly that when I was president and we went into Kosovo to stop ethnic cleansing, that Americans should open their hearts. And he took in a family from Kosovo who are now living well in Southern California and doing a great job. He is well up to the right Democrats, and I thank him. I want to thank Senator Benwiso. Thank you, Mayor Salas, for welcoming me. Thank you, Speaker America Tony Evans. And thank you, Assembly Member Shirley Weber, who is also from Hope, Arkansas. I thank her. I want to thank Superintendent Karen Janney and Principal Bonita Vista for welcoming me here. And I thank you for struggling in making this one of America's finest schools in the face of all the obstacles. You would admit this has been a pretty, let's get the band, of course. You think you're hot, I need to be in the band. They're in those uniforms, they're really hot. Thank you. Look, you've already heard all this, but I want to say, you got to understand what's going on here. All over the world, people have figured out that our borders are looking more like nets than walls. You can't keep out economic forces, political forces. A lot of it has been fabulous. And for example, where I work in my foundation in Africa, now 6 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world. I've seen the rate all over the world, the rate of people being lifted out of poverty is at record levels, the rate of decline in infant mortality is great. The problem is that when you disrupt all this stuff at the same time, you unleash negative as well as positive forces. For example, the most terrible terrorist incident in America recently was in San Bernardino. Those people were converted over to social media. Mr. Trump can build all the walls he wants, you can't keep out the social media. Which is why Hillary says, this is a fight we have to win together, and we need American, moderate Muslims who love freedom and hate terror to help us. We don't need to demonize them. That's the biggest refugee crisis since World War II, roiling the politics of Europe. And everywhere in the world, people have to make the decision we do. Is the way to the future with walls or bridges? Is the way to the future trying to recover a past we can't recover, or building a future with an escalator everybody can rise on? Over and over again.
The ugliness of this nation. We have to stay where we are in a community that is diverse, a community that is forward.
But if you overdo it, you wind up majoring in the minors all over the world. The finest school systems have only a few things in common. They spend more and more and more time and money trying to help teachers be better teachers, principals be better principals, and have a culture in every school that meets the real needs of the children and the school and their parents. And she thinks we have way underdone that and we need to overdo it. Second, she believes everybody ought to graduate from college debt-free. Now, what's the difference in maintaining tuition-free in every public school? Big difference. First of all, you leave out a lot of people who are going to private universities that educate a lot of minorities, first-generation immigrants, working-class kids. You don't want to discriminate against them. They should be able to be helped too. So how would you make college debt-free? Pay the tuition for everybody who needs it, including in community colleges, because we need to have skills training for people to get more cash out. Have a whopping increase in the Pell Grant program and give people what they need. When people can pay something, let them pay what they can pay. If they can pay the full freight, let them pay that. And use wealthy people's incomes to invest in new jobs in a modern economy that brings everybody along for the ride. That has no paid leave. We need a national program for equal pay, paid leave, and affordable childcare. We don't want women in the workforce. We're not asking their children to sacrifice. Every man in America should be for that, and we would grow together. We also need to recognize, and I think you've been debating this here in California, there are too many people in jail for nonviolent offenses, wasting their youth, and they could be left on the street working and contributing to us. But you don't want to set them up to fail. So they need education, training, job placement, and freedom from discrimination for having once been in jail so they can start again in their lives. That doesn't respect and honor girls and women is half a nation.
Yes, right.
It's half a nation. We don't want to be half a nation. We want a full nation. That's why we're here. We're here to support the most qualified person for president. In fact, she may be the most qualified person ever to have run for president.
Yes!
Our next president of the United States, a significant win here in Chula Vista in the South Bay. And I was hoping, of course, that if I was successful in getting through the beginning of the campaign, that President Clinton would join me here in San Diego. We planned for a long time, we made all the arrangements, and on the day that he was coming to an bill, all of a sudden, hadn't been planned. And so they held it that afternoon, and I was stuck in Sacramento watching the news as they were watching and talking about, is she going to make it? Is she going to get to her own event with the president? Who doesn't make it for their own event with the president? Well, unfortunately, I did.
That's the way I'm interpreting it. The audio's not good.
45 and 42. We got President 42 here. We're going to elect President 45 and say what she believes, which is that at least she and Senator Sanders have had the right debate in this country. And there is on the economic battlefield. What's the best way to do something about it? That is an honest, honorable, decent debate. And now we need to bring everybody together and go out there with the wind in our backs and with confidence in the future of this country. If we have the right leader, the best change maker I have ever known, you can make it happen in California.
Oh, did you get autographs? Did you give you autographs?